Morning. And as we round our shit corner, the plan today is to head the direct way up towards Ruthin, where I was the other day, to the Chain and Sprocket Café to meet up with Andy, who's currently camping up at Carrog with the MZ riders. So it's around 10 o'clock-ish now, so I reckon about 12:30 by the time I get there. Okay, so things went a little bit slow round about junction 9 and junction 10 of the M6, but it never dropped much below 25 mile an hour and we never actually stopped. And on the first lay-by of the A5, a quick stop. Need to adjust the strap on my helmet. The thing is trying to blow off the top of my head at anything above 60 mile an hour. Llangollen, and although the sun's out, it's a few degrees cooler here than it is back at home, and it's a tad breezy as well. Just for a change, I'll go up the horseshoe pass itself rather than the back road. Not been up this way for a while, so makes a change. It's a blanket 40 mile an hour speed limit all the way along here now, so best keep an eye open for camera vans and such like. And the Ponderosa, which sadly is closed at the moment. Do hope it reopens. There's every chance that I would have been having dinner there today rather than down at the Chain and Sprocket, but hey ho, never mind. Whoops, guess who missed the turning? Never mind, we can turn around here and head back. Andy had already had his dinner by the time I got there. There again, he's only 9 or 10 mile down the road. And would you look at that, there's a parking space right next to Andy's bike. I went for the ham, egg, chips, beans, bread and butter and a coffee as per normal. And yep, thoroughly enjoyable. Now the plan is fill up a petrol and then head out towards Bala and see what's going on there, and then on the road out from Bala, 3 or 4 mile out of the town itself, the road forks left to Corwin, which will take Andy back to Carrog and the MZ campsite, and I shall carry straight on towards Shrewsbury. And yes, that is rain. Although it's not cold, it was a little bit chilly. But there again, when I left home, it was 25 degrees plus, so I only put my mesh jacket on. Luckily, I've got a woolly pullover with me somewhere, and that may be called into action later on. Well, we was going to have a look on the station, but it appears that there's no car parking at all at this end of the railway. So it'll be a case of go down here until I can find somewhere to turn around. If I'd have been on my own, I would have carried on along this road and gone up and over Hellfire Pass and down to Lake Vyrnwy. But seeing as Andy needs the road back towards Corwin and Carrog. We'll go back to the station and turn right. And it's at this junction that Andy goes to the left and back to the MZ Riders, and I carry straight on. I dare say I'll see him tomorrow at the Iron Curtain event at Foxfield Railway. Remember that woolly pullover I mentioned earlier? Well, it's getting a little bit nippy up here, so I'm going to stop and put my pullover on. Yeah, they're not kidding when they said this road has got bends. It certainly has. And it's decent scenery too. Not that you'll see much of it at that speed. Back in England and the sun's out. Through the village of Knockin, and coming up on the right is the amusingly named Knockin Shop. There it is, the Knockin Shop. Just in case you was ever wondering. And rather than use the A5 and M54, I'll drop off the A5 at the Bridge North turn, and I shall go via Much Wenlock and Ironbridge, I reckon. And there it is, the world's very first bridge made of iron. That's, funnily enough, Ironbridge. And the temperature has gone back up again. It's in the mid-20s. A few bikes here today. It is a bit of a narrow road, but if you can get that Land Rover through, I'm sure I'll fit through. And another narrow little bit over the bridge. And there's nothing coming. And for a change, let's go through the ford at Trescott. It's been no rain for a while, so it's not that deep. But every year it's always in the paper where somebody decides to drive through the ford when there's 3 foot of water and the car ends up wedged underneath that bridge. And it happens every year. They never learn. Now, as soon as I was using the Drift Ghost XL Pro, the battery only lasts 5 or 6 hours on that one, as opposed to the 7 hours plus on the normal XL. So, just to keep everybody happy, the last little bit is with the other camera, and we're going up through the tunnel of trees, and then we're going to come back round, because I know you'd be disappointed if it didn't include Oshit Corner. And as we round Oshit Corner, it's been a good day. Quite a few degrees cooler up there in North Wales, and a little bit of, I wouldn't call it rain, a little bit of water, shall we say. It wasn't serious enough to be rain. But there again, it's been a good day out. So, until the next time, see you later.